Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Nick Viall had Nayte on his podcast today, where Nayte divulged so many behind-the-scenes moments from his relationship with Michelle. Of course, a pretty rough breakup where he says he was crushed that she blocked him. He talks about the trust issues, how Deandra came about, the rumor that he moved on with Deandra, and also if he misses her. Plus, he shares a fascinating story of the first red flag he had where he caught her red-handed DMing with a country musician. But I'm going to play that all for you, so definitely stick around. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm going to be going live on Patreon. You know, I got my cup here, my mug here, where someone sent me this. Congrats for hitting 50,000 subs. And we're about to hit, 57,000 subs. And I have to tell you guys, I am a little apologetic that I haven't been able to grow our channel faster. I say our channel because you guys are so important to the community here. But I have some plans in place to try to invest some time and energy to make the channel a little bit bigger and more robust. I'm going to share those plans with you on Patreon today. Patreon.com/Dave Neal at 10 a.m. right after I air this episode. So if you want to check out the behind the scenes of what we might do to try to grow the channel a little bit. And we've had a very successful year. It's just we've sort of hit a ceiling. Maybe not the ceiling, but a ceiling. Now it's time to break through that and get some more subscribers. Double check and make sure you are subscribed. If you're not, hit the subscribe button right now. And also every single day for over a month, we've been donating to different teachers across the country. We got this message sent in. Hi, Dave. Just wanted to give an update. Thank you again for sharing my Amazon list and the erasers. Everything turned out great, and I'm looking forward to welcoming the kids tomorrow, which is today. So let's wish this teacher a little bit of love here. And here's the classroom. She's decorated the classroom with different supplies that you guys helped her purchase. This is not going to just help a teacher, but inspire all of her students to foster that creative learning that we so need in the classroom. Today's teacher is Miss Trisha. So go to the comments section pinned below. If you want to donate, all of the proceeds, whatever you donate, goes straight to the teacher. So thank you so much. We're going to continue that giving throughout September. And let's get into this story. Like I said, stick around for the last clip where he talks about whether or not he misses Michelle, and when he says he doesn't miss the Michelle that broke up with him. Fascinating stuff. Of course, as always, she's got her own side to it. These conversations are tough to have. I'm sure it's tough for Nick to get these types of interviews because it's like it just opens a can of worms. Like, is Michelle going to respond to this? What's going to go down? But let's have a listen to Nayte. I'm going to play 3 or 4 separate clips.
It was like a pretty clear moment where Michelle's not it's not like Michelle's I would never say I don't trust Michelle, but I know that there was like a moment where I started questioning things because it was just like a confusing moment, and that kind of just led to some trust issues on my part too.
Follow up, Nick.
So yeah, I think trust definitely kind of played like a.
Well, I mean, what are you able to share what that moment was?
Yeah, so we're laying in bed one day, and she's right next to me. We're in Austin. She's right next to me, and she's on Instagram, and I see, I glance at her phone, and I see that there's a text or a DM thread with like a very, very famous country music singer, and I was like, hey, Michelle's a celebrity. Like that's something I got to get used to too. It's like, hey, that's normal. Like celebrities talk to celebrities. So I didn't think much of it. It was whatever. And then like 20 seconds later, I glance at her phone again, and the entire thread is gone. So obviously alarms are going off in my head, and I'm like, hey, I glance at your phone.
And now listen, sometimes you might delete a conversation that might look weird, but it's not. But then it begs the question, why did you delete it? You should, in a relationship, you should be transparent and open and honest. But in her effort to maybe protect Nayte, she could have made it worse, or maybe it was bad. It could have been either or. We'll never know what that conversation was.
And you were talking to this country music singer, and now the entire thread is gone. Like, I have to ask, what was that about? Right? The story that she told me just made no sense. It was just such an odd story. It started with I deleted it because what he said made me feel uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, what did he say? And she was like, oh, he wanted to go get drinks with me. And I was like, okay, what what led to that, because this singer had invited her because he was on tour or something in Minnesota. So like,
all right, so we have a celebrity country musician who was on tour in Minnesota. I don't have the bandwidth to search for this, but I'm sure somebody will know who this was. By the way, I did want to give Nick a shout out. I think he does a fantastic job with these interviews. I mean, I think he handled this really well. Probably one of the best in Bachelor Nation to have these conversations. Just a thought. I really enjoy the way this whole conversation went down, even though I feel like Nayte probably didn't win any awards by having the conversation, because I feel like people are going to be like, oh my gosh, like, like he's trying to jockey for a position of what he went through. But, he went through a rough time too. They both did.
I think it was after they had already met. Yeah, they had already met because they went to this concert. Her and her friends went to this concert because he invited
she met
her.
this person.
Yeah. So she went to this guy's concert in Minnesota because he was on tour, and so she like was like backstage, got like a backstage pass and whatnot. And I was okay, like what led to like him like asking you to go get drinks, and it was like, oh, we're gonna go play basketball, like my friends and his friends, and I was like, what did he exactly say that made you feel so uncomfortable that you had to delete the entire message? And
it's such a I'm sorry to interrupt. It's such a tough place because like by questioning her, he's showing her he doesn't trust her, but at the same time, it's like information he wants to know about someone he might be marrying. I can understand it. It's a tough line of questioning.
Should get drinks was like quote unquote. I was like, does that like how did you know he meant just you two? Because you had just said that the plan was for you and her, something about like her friends and his friends to go play, like pick up basketball or something like that. And anyways, the conversation kept on going back and forth. And I was like, hey, like, I do not want to bring this, like, I don't trust you energy into this relationship at all. That's the last thing I want. But like, I do not feel comfortable right now. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but can you call your friend that you said that you were with?
No.
And I just want to like hear it from her.
Bringing in a witness. Can we call your friends to the stand? Ay, gabushi. Ay.
And so she did that. She called her friend. She was like, hey, so-and-so, do you remember this? And her friend was like, Michelle, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I was just like,
that's the face. That's the face. That's the googly eye. Okay. Now, I mean, it's bad on both looks. It's bad that he kind of forced her hand, and it's bad that she couldn't follow through. It would be so much worse for him if the friend was like, yeah, no, it was totally nothing, no big deal. And he'd be like, all right, well, I'm a psycho. But obviously, I don't know if Nayte's ever had a serious relationship before. You just have to sort of take a red flag on the chin, and I don't think, and it's like either you trust someone or you break up. There really isn't too much middle ground. Of course, the beginning of the end, it seems.
I just dropped it. Like, I didn't know what to do.
Well, yeah, what happened after that?
She apologized for making me feel like I couldn't trust her. She told me that, there was like nothing to worry about, and we really never talked about it again.
Did she block you? Or, because we saw something on Instagram, and like
the tags are gone.
The tags are gone. And honestly, if whatever, like if you need to, you need to. But like, is that something that happened between you guys, or do you know why? If it did,
the backstory of that is kind of like an upsetting story. But yeah, she blocked me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think I want to go into like the nitty gritty of that, but that was kind of like a low blow because we were like on the phone. So that was just like it was weird. It was weird.
Okay.
That I don't know why. I don't know why it was a block. If I'm being completely honest, because I remember she called me after and she's like, I didn't know I blocked you. I don't know the difference between a block and unfollow. And I was just like, this looks so bad, and of course people went crazy after she blocked me, but
all right, so there's the moment, right, where she blocks him and he says, this looks so bad. And again, I can't empathize. I can't understand what it must feel like to have those optics with the public's opinion. You say, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, we only care about what other people think of us. But it must be hard to separate the two. Go check out the full episode. I'm going to play a few more clips here, but I'm not going to rip off their full episode. Just a few clips here. It's on Nick's YouTube page, Nick Viall. And he's got a book coming out, or maybe it already came out there. It's in the background of the shot. You can go support him by clicking on that. All right, let's hear what he had to say about Deandra.
About you and Deandra. Can you just clear the air or explain what's up with all that?
When it comes to Deandra, no, I saw that because we follow each other on Instagram. She lived in LA. She's Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. That's just kind of how Nigerians are, right? So I just moved to LA. I messaged her. I'm like, hey, just got to LA. These are the birthday plans. You want to join? By all means, join. I'd love to have you there. And then all of a sudden, there's a picture of our knees touching.
The knee gate.
Yeah.
Your knees were touching?
They're sitting on bar stools, and everyone was like, they're a couple.
Yeah.
Their knees are gravitating towards one another.
Sure.
It was just like the worst timing. It just looked so bad. But no, like me and Deandra, we're there's nothing going on.
All right, so there it is. Nothing going on. He's been photographed sitting next to her, which of course not a crime when you're single. Of course, people thought maybe he moved on quickly, and he's saying no, that's rubbish is what he's saying. And let's go to our final clip here where he is asked if he misses Michelle. Very interesting clip I'm about to play for you. Again, full episode is up, 90-minute episode on Nick's YouTube channel. Which, by the way, for all the days in the world where Nick could have dropped this podcast episode, today's a tough one because there's a lot of other things in the news. This would have been leading story probably 330 days out of the year, but not today. If you don't know, go back to my last video.
Michelle and I, like the beginning of that relationship was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced in my entire life. We had so much fun. Like that was the beginning of our relationship was the most fun I've ever had with somebody ever. And I miss the Michelle I fell in love with for sure. And I've thought about this question before, and it's like I miss the Michelle that I fell in love with. I'm not sure I miss the Michelle I broke up with.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Well, you've obviously probably learned a lot from this experience.
Wow.
What's one thing that you experienced in your past relationship, and your next relationship, and who knows how many more relationships you might have to have before you find your person, but what's something that you really enjoyed having in that relationship, in your last one, that you want to make sure you bring forward? And then what's something that, or things that you want in your next relationship that maybe you didn't have in this one?
Okay, so the first one is, what did I have in this relationship that I want to make sure is in my next relationship?
Yeah, just it's like
a Becca Kufrin style question, 7 in a row.
Hey, it didn't work out, but X, Y, and Z was good, or X was good, or.
I mean, I was just talking about the fun that we had at the beginning, and just like that not dying out, because we were kids together, that was the best part of her and I at the beginning of the relationship, is like we were just little kids. We did science experiments. We'd like go and try and catch insects together. Like we were just kids, like it was just so laid back, so much fun. And it's just like, that didn't last. But, my next relationship, like, I definitely want to be with somebody that we can have like just fun like that. Like the amount of fun that Michelle and I had at the beginning of the relationship was like out of this world.
All right, so it couldn't survive the child scientist portion of the relationship. I just imagine them just like putting paper mache on some sort of volcano and doing like little TikTok experiments. Relationships, when they end, they're tragic. It's tragic when a relationship ends because a lot of times you can see a path forward that could have made it successful with several tweaks. They had a long distance issue. She was in Minnesota. He was in Austin, Texas. Now they both live in Los Angeles, but they couldn't make it work out. Let me know what you guys think. We might have another video up. There's so much content packed into this episode. Go check out Nick's full episode there. I'm on Instagram at DNeals. I got some stand-up comedy shows this weekend. Friday, I have a private show in Silver Lake, Los Angeles. It's going to be a ton of fun if you want to come. Saturday, Sunday on Melrose. I got a show in LA as well. I'm going to go on Patreon right after this and tell you about the next business ventures. We'll talk to you then. Bye, guys.